Our continuing coverage on Idaho's foster care crisis. Tomorrow, we expect the introduction of legislation to the Senate Health and Welfare Committee regarding foster care. We'll learn the exact details then. But this comes at a time advocates want to better protect Idaho's foster kids. Savannah Hankard continues our ongoing investigation into the system.
Calls to reform Idaho's foster care system have been made for over 10 years. Advocates saying there are problems with transparency, quality foster homes for children, and a fear of retaliation. They're the reason that one family in particular left the system.
He started coming home from these visits highly traumatized. He would hit his head on the floor, he would scratch his face, he would pull his hair.
This is how Brian McCall says his 15-month-old foster child would react after mandatory visits with his biological family. After expressing concern to the system, he was taken away from them.
Their immediate response was, if you can't support the department, we will remove him from your home today.
After living with one family his entire life, he was taken away without a goodbye.
This young woman who was in the middle of significant trauma and just heartbroken was sitting there listening to this caseworker treat her like she was a criminal. Then a social worker, someone who is trained in working socially or providing social services, had no empathy. That to me is one small example of what's wrong with the system.
These are just two of the hundreds of stories of mistreatment of Idaho's children that previous foster parent Brian McCall shared.
We cannot do this to kids and expect that there will not be consequences in the future.
The CDC reports stability in a child's family or home environment is crucial in development as it shapes multiple aspects, including physical, emotional, behavioral, and intellectual capabilities.
We've heard testimony on that over the years about the effects of kids who are in foster care being correlated with their connection with the penal system.
The most recent study of Idaho's Juvenile Detention Center was in 2019, reporting 30% of youth had been in the system, while Idaho's Department of Corrections reports 17% of youth were in the foster system in the past 5 years.
And consequently, when the system that you're engaged in isn't helping care for other people anymore, but instead inflicting trauma on them, good foster families say, I don't want to do that anymore.
To fix systematic issues, legislation for foster care reform has been passed with unanimous support from both sides of the legislature with no substantial change.
The fact that we aren't seeing significant changes either tells me that they can't or they won't. And that to me is a problem. If they can't make the changes, then we need to find people who can. If they won't make the changes, then we need to find people who will.
After years of supporting, praying for, and working with the foster care system, advocates say they're looking for a change.
They have had enough time. They've had enough feedback. They've had enough legislative support. It's time for the governor's office to acknowledge that there are significant systemic issues, and for the governor's office to demand excellence and to demand solutions.
Calls for the governor to make change have also been made by legislators.
I look forward to the governor walking toward us and helping us find the policies that we need to put in place to make a strong system of child protection and foster care in our state.
McCall says the importance of change is indescribable.
I think that this is something that the public could also change in a moment by bringing their voices to the governor's office and saying, we want to see significant change.
We have reached out to the governor as well as the administrator of Family and Community Services for comment. I'm Savannah Hankard reporting.